All right, I'm going to do a question concerning analytical geometry, especially of straight line. Okay. Now, the geometric analytical geometry is very simple. All you have to know to follow the question and to see what is given to you. We have these lines form of a triangle, and then we have the angle between these two lines, okay? And then we have the point K, and then we have another point is outside that point, which is M, okay? So the first question, let's go straight to the question. The first question say 3.1, they say gradient of Km. The first thing you have to write Kn. You write the coordinate of Kn, okay? K, and the coordinate of n is 1 minus 1. Okay, now they say gradient of what? Kn. So you write down the formula y2 minus y1 and the x2 minus x1, okay? So now what do? You look at this. This will be your x1, y1, x2, y2. So the next thing will be substitution. After I write down the formula, y2 is minus 1, then there is minus of the formula, and then y1 is 2. Then x2, it will be 1. Then we have a minus of the formula. Then we have a minus there of 1. So this will give you minus 3 over 2. So that is the gradient of what? We have the gradient of Kn. Now, next question, it says the size of a theta. They want us to find theta equal to what? They say it's the inclination of a Kn. Inclination means the angle, okay? So meaning that tangent theta will be equal to the inclination, meaning that the gradient of mkn. So what we do, we say tangent will be arc of a tangent. What is the mk? Okay, let's do this. So tangent theta will be equal to what? Minus 3 over 2. So now you go in your calculator to find theta. You shift your calculator, okay? Then you press tangent, and then you press minus 3 over 2. Then you find the answer minus 56, comma, let's say 31. So, because you have a negative angle, you put plus 180. So because the tangent negative is in the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant, okay? So this angle should be in the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, tan is negative. So because the angle is minus 56 degrees, so we add 180. So, or you say 180 minus 56, okay? So the answer here will be theta will give you 123, degrees, 69 degrees. So that is the value of a theta. Now, 3.2, it says prove that the angle or the gradient KL equal to 1. Okay? How to prove this? Now, when you look at this line, look at the line, this line, okay? So, we don't know the point K, because if we use this formula of a gradient, we don't have the coordinate of a L. We have only this coordinate. We don't have the coordinate of a P. But if we know this angle, let's call it the angle alpha. If we know this angle, this is the angle which can be, let's say, tangent alpha equal to MKL. Alright? So if we know this angle theta, we can find the gradient here. So what will be this angle theta? You have to know one thing, that this angle minus theta, if you have a angle, you have the straight line like this, okay? And the angle with the x-axis is alpha, this line with the x-axis is theta. So the angle, let's call this angle K. Let's call it the angle K. I want to show you something. The angle K will be equal to 1 angle theta minus alpha. Alright? Theta minus alpha, meaning that alpha will be, if you transpose alpha this side, you transpose K this side, you solve here, here we'll have theta minus K, that will be alpha. So there we go. Here we have 123,69, which is a theta, minus this angle 78,69. This will give you equal to 45 degrees. So M will be over KL will be equal to tangent over 45 degrees, which is equal to 1. You will say, why so many steps? But this is for you. If it was me, from my calculator, I would do this. Let me take it off. I want to show you all these things. I will call this angle alpha. So I will say tangent alpha equal to M KL, okay? So tangent alpha, this is a correct substitution, will be 123,69 minus 78,69 degrees MKL. So when you use your calculator here, you find that 1. Yeah, substitution, a correct answer, 2 marks. Alright. So let's move to the next question. The next question says we must find what? The straight line. The straight line, let's find the straight line. Which straight line is that? It says the straight line KL. So you can see that we know the angle. From this question, they say KL, okay? 3.2, you have to ask yourself a question, okay? KL, the straight line KL. KL passed by the point K. The point K, the coordinate of K is this. Alright? Alright. We don't know the point L, but we know the angle of KL is equal to what? 1. Alright. So, meaning that the straight line, which is y equal to mx plus c, we can do this. Instead of y we put 2, instead of m we put 1, instead of x we put minus 1. So when you transpose here, you find that c equal to 3. So the straight line will be m to 1, so it will be x, c is going to be 3. So done, okay? Now that was 3.3. Now 3.4, it says the distance KL. Distance KL, you use the formula x2 minus x1 plus all squared plus y2, open the bracket, minus y1 all squared, okay? Now, it's a kn, sorry. So what is the x1? x2 for kn, let's say x2 it's 1 minus x1, which is minus 1. So with this minus will be plus, all squared. And then we have what? Y2, which is a minus 1, and a minus 2 all squared. So here the answer will be square root of 13. Alright, now the next question say 3.5. So now to do 3.5, I want us to keep this side. We have a straight line which is x plus 3. Alright. And then we have the distance kn is equal to square root of 13. So let's keep this aside. And now let's use, we're going to use it in question 3.5. Okay, let me remove this. Now, question 3.5 says this. If it is further given that Kn is equal to Lm, okay, meaning that the distance Kn is equal to the distance Lm. So we know the coordinates. So what we do here, okay, now it says determine the coordinate of L. 3.5, it says determine the coordinate of L. L will be X and the Y, which we don't know the coordinates, okay? And the coordinate of M, the coordinate of M, we know that is minus 3 and minus 5. And we know the distance K n, which is square root of 13. So if the two distances are equal, we call this x1, x2, let's call this y2, let's call this x1, and let's call this y1. So let's find the distance. Let's do it. The distance Lm should be equal to the distance Kn, okay? So there we go. Let's use the formula here. Square root of x2, which is x here, minus x1, which is plus 3, all squared, plus y2, which is y, minus 5 will be plus 5, and here will be square root 13. So we have to remove the square root, okay? So if you remove the square root, we have x plus all squared. We have a y plus 5 all squared equal to 13. Now, how to find the coordinate of L? Remember, we have the distance LM, meaning that the line LK lies touch each other with the line what? LM, okay? So this LM, let me draw it here. LM, which means they'll touch each other somewhere there. Alright, they touch each other. That is the line LM. Alright, like this. So, let me change the color. Or let me get this blue. Alright, so we have another line here. Alright, so this is the line LM. We can see that the line LM touch the point L. It touch the line what? LK. And what is the line KL? What is the line KL? It's y equal to x plus 3. So meaning that there is what you call intersection. So the point of intersection, okay? So let's go to the point of intersection here. We found that this is our first equation, and y plus, okay, sorry, let me get to the real color that I need. Alright. I need the dark one. Alright. Sorry, I want to get the color that I want. I need the black. Alright, I got it. So, we have this line, which is y equal to x plus 3. So this will be our second equation. So you take this one, substitute here, you will have x plus 3 all squared. Instead of a y, if you put y there, will be x plus 3 plus 5, which will give you x plus 8, all squared equal to 13. So when you expand this, you open another bracket, you expand this, you have x squared plus 6x plus 9, and here you have x squared plus 16x plus 64. then you transpose here will be minus 13. So here will give you 2x squared, and now if you add these two, you have plus 22x, and this, if you add 9 plus 64 minus 13, this will give you plus 60 equal to 0. So if you divide by 2, you will have x squared plus 11x plus 30 equal to 0. So if you open a bracket here, you have x plus 5 and x plus 6, because 5 times 6 will be 30, x plus 5 plus 6 will be 11. 5 plus 6 will be 11, but 5 times 6 will be 30. So what this means, you solve for x. Okay, let me remove this. What you can do, you can pause the question, you write it down, and then you continue. Okay, you can pause and then you write it down, then you continue further. So now what will happen, we have x is equal to minus 5, or x equal to negative 6. So if you take it here, you take x equal to 5, minus 5, sorry, you substitute minus 5 here plus 3, so y will be minus 2, and here y will be minus 3. So the coordinate of L will be minus x minus 5, and here will be minus 2. So if you are good in mathematics, you can't do all these steps. You can just use your calculator to cancel other steps, okay? Or we can have minus 6 and minus 3. But this is, we can't take this, okay? We're looking at this point. So when you look at this distance, here can be minus 3. So from here up to there can be minus 3. So it's minus 2. It's shorter than this distance. So we take that one. So this is a question 5.1.2 or 5.3.5.1. Now, the last question says, if this is a parallelogram, meaning that determine the coordinate of L if it's given that KLMN is a parallelogram. If it's a parallelogram, what that means? A parallelogram means that we'll have another straight line here. This makes a parallelogram, okay? Because this line was not there. Let me do this. Alright, this is a parallelogram. So, if this is a parallelogram, what that means? A parallelogram means that we'll have this. This is a parallelogram. I want to show you something here. If this is a parallelogram, we'll have something like this. Then we'll have the point M, which is the X, and the Y, which is the midpoint of KM, and the same midpoint for LN. So remember the formula of a midpoint, okay? So if we have a midpoint, and this will be known, this will be known, and this is not known, so we can find this point easily. Now let's use the formula of a midpoint to find our midpoint. First of all, we found midpoint of what? Midpoint of the KL. Okay, so what you do, x of a midpoint will be like this: x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and the y will be y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay, now there we go. Midpoint, there we go. Minus 1. We use the formula, okay? Let's say x1 is minus 3. We put minus 3 plus x2, which is minus 1. So here will be minus 1 all divided by 2. Then we have y2, which is minus 5. And then we have a plus 2 all divided by 2. I don't know if I'm having a correct. Yes, I think it's correct. We have, okay, the midpoint will be minus 3 minus 1 over 2, and then here we have a minus 3 plus, so the midpoint here will be m equal to minus 2, and here will be minus 3 over 2. I think that is correct. All right, now that is correct. Now if we have a midpoint, okay, so let's use the formula of a midpoint of a Ln now, meaning that x over L plus the x over n divided by 2 will be equal to the x over m. That is because this is a midpoint. And the y over L plus y over n divided by 2 is going to be equal to y over m. Alright, so there we go. What is the, okay, we have L. So what is going to happen now? We have this x. What is this x? Over L we have x over L, let's just call it x over n. It's minus 2, or over n it's plus 1 divided by 2 equal to x over m. What is x over m? It's minus 2. Alright, so if we cross multiply 2 times here, it's going to be minus 4. If we transpose 1, the answer here will be minus 5. There we go here. Y over L, it's y. Y over n, it's minus 1 divided by what? By 2. Equal to minus 3 over 2. So if you multiply both sides by 2, these 2 will be cancelled out. Okay? So if you multiply 3 over 2 times 2, this will go 1 minus 1 over 2 times 2. The 2 is gone. So y here will be minus 3 minus 1, which is minus 2. Let me repeat here. Or others, they want this. You multiply here will be minus 1. If you cross multiply here, you have a minus 3. So y, when you transpose minus 1, will be plus. Minus 3 plus 1 will give you minus 2. So the coordinate of L is what? Minus 5 and minus 2. Simple. So if you are good in mathematics, you cannot do all this step. You can go just fast. Thank you.